Wow. Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, come on. Now, you can do better than that. Good afternoon. This is a good afternoon. I cannot believe this moment. I have to tell you, I am a South Side of Chicago girl. I grew up there, South Side of Chicago, and I love my city. And for those of you who know me, you know I have been a little nervous about moving to Washington, D.C. Why? Because I spent so much of my career complaining about Washington, D.C. And so it's now my new home. Not that Chicago won't always be home, but it's my new home. And so to come here in the midst of our transition and have all of you come here to Washington makes me feel like this is home again. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. It is such an honor to be amongst you. So as you know, I am here representing somebody who began his career as one of you, a community organizer, right? And so he has run this campaign with the spirit of a community organizer, understanding that ordinary people, when they come together around a common vision with common goals and common beliefs, can do extraordinary things. Am I right? I know, I'm right. So even though community organizers got a kind of a bad name during the general election, we know because what did we do? We elected one of our own as President of the United States of America. So I have had the pleasure of knowing the President-elect. It sounds so good to say, President-elect Obama, so you won't mind if I say it a few times. I've had the pleasure of knowing him nearly 20 years now. And so everybody talks about him starting as a community organizer, but I think we also shouldn't forget what drove him into the field to begin with. This is a guy who grew up with a single mom, who spent some of his early years on food stamps, so he understands what it's like to struggle. Am I right? He understands that people need those who will have a voice for them when their voice is too quiet to be heard by itself. So he understands from working as a community organizer how frustrating government can be when it's serving interests other than the people who elected the representatives of government. He understands through empathy and values and integrity and character, and having been raised by a mother who told him that who much is given, much is expected. And so he brings to this White House those values and the life experiences working with so many of you and organizations such as yours on the South Side of Chicago, and seeing how it has been replicated across the country with over 30 states represented here today. Please give yourself a round of applause for everything you've done. You are the reason why he is the President-elect of the United States. People such as Donnell Barrett, a member of this organization, who was a community organizer for us in South Carolina, in Delaware, and in Pennsylvania, 3 states, of course, that we won. People like that all across this country have participated. And I'm proud to say to you that the journey, although it was extraordinary, and it has been extraordinary, the journey has now just begun. And so we are heartened that you are here this day in our nation's capital to begin what is a very important process as we go forward. And I am particularly proud to announce to you that one of your own, in fact, the chairman of your board, Cecilia Munoz, will be joining our office as the Director of Intergovernmental Affairs. Cecilia, where are you? And, I wish I could take full credit for Cecilia having joined the White House. But what did it take? It took the President-elect to get on the phone himself and say, Cecilia, this country needs you. I need you. We can change the world with people such as you, with your leadership and your vision and your character and your reputation and the way you have led your life. I want you inside of my White House. And so that says a lot about him, that he recognizes the potential of someone like Cecilia. So thank you. as I said, our work just begins today. Our challenges are daunting, but our opportunities are endless. If we work together, if we hold hands, if we decide that we will follow the vision of President-elect Obama's campaign, which is let's not talk about all the issues that divide us, which has been what has happened in Washington. Let's talk about what we have in common. Let's talk about education for our young children. Let's talk about solving once and for all our energy crisis. Let's talk about our environment. Let's rebuild our economy. And as we move forward and try to pass this infrastructure bill, this recovery bill that will create thousands and millions of jobs in your neighborhoods, we can't get that passed without your full support. And that's what this vision was all about. It was to not just win a campaign, but to change our country for the better. So I know you've had an exciting day. I've heard all about it, and all I can tell you is that we are going to have many more days such as this. If we can count on you to work with us, to advise us, to counsel us, to come to Washington, to invite us into your communities so we can learn from the experts. These people, those of you in this room, are the experts. You know better than anybody else what your community needs in order to improve your neighborhoods. So our future is bright. There's nothing that we cannot do if we come together as one. And as I close here today, I just have really one question for you. I want to know, are you fired up? I want to know, are you fired up? I want to know, are you ready to go? Because if you're ready to go, then I want you to walk with us. And I want you to stand up with us. And I want you to lead us. And I want you to work with us to make this country all that this country can be. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.